You know, when we talk about the year 2050, it always kind of sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's really not. It's a destination that we are building brick by brick right now. And to get there, we need a lot more than just hope. We need a blueprint. So that's what this is all about. We're going to unpack that blueprint, the real concrete plans, and the absolutely massive projects required to build a sustainable world in the next 30 years. So let's dive right in. It's easy to think of 2050 as, way off in the distant future. But the truth is, the choices we are making right now are directly shaping the world our children are going to grow up in. The blueprints are literally being drafted today, the foundations are being poured as we speak, and every decision we make in this decade will ripple out for generations. This slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's a stark choice. On one side, you've got a world of consequences. A future we just kind of let happen. One with the hottest century in 2 millennia, polluted skies, and a heartbreaking climate refugee crisis. But on the other side, a world of design. A world with a net zero energy economy, incredible green cities, and societies that are resilient and ready for anything. It's not fate. It's our choice to make. And that is really the heart of it all. This isn't about predicting the future. It's about choosing it. So what is the actual plan? What does the blueprint for that better 2050 really look like? Let's break it down, starting with the very foundation of, well, everything in our modern world. The first, and maybe the most critical layer of this whole blueprint, is a complete and total overhaul of our energy systems. I mean, we are talking about a fundamental transformation in how we produce, how we transport, and how we consume the power that runs literally every part of our lives. To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this, just look at this chart. The International Energy Agency's roadmap here is crystal clear. To get to net zero by 2050, we need to speed up renewable energy deployment like never before. By 2030, we have to be installing 4 times the record amount of solar and wind power we set back in 2020. And that's not a one-time thing. That has to be the new normal, year after year after year. Just let that sink in for a second. If that number still feels a bit abstract, this quote from the IEA really brings it home. We're talking about building the world's biggest solar park every single day. This isn't a few panels on a roof. This is a global industrial mobilization on a scale we have literally never even attempted before. And look, this energy overhaul isn't just about giant power plants out in the desert. It's about the things we use every single day. Take your car, for example. The IEA says that to stay on this path, over 60% of all new cars sold globally have to be electric by 2030. That is a giant leap from just 5% today. It's a complete transformation of one of the planet's biggest industries in less than a decade. But here's something you might not have thought about. Building all this new infrastructure, well, that's just phase 1. Researchers have a name for what comes next: system renewal. It means we're not just building a static system we can forget about. We're creating a dynamic one that needs constant maintenance, replacement, and management for decades. It's a lifelong commitment. So, this clean energy revolution is the engine for everything else. It's the power source for the places where most of humanity is going to be living. And that, of course, means our cities. So let's see how this energy shift is going to completely reshape our urban landscapes. Which brings us right to the second major pillar of the 2050 blueprint, a total reinvention of our cities. They are going to be the hubs of human life, and frankly, they need a whole new operating system. So why the huge focus on cities? Why are they so critical to this plan? Well, this number says it all. By the middle of the century, a staggering 70% of all people on Earth will be living in urban areas. When that many people live in one type of environment, building sustainable cities isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely essential for a thriving human future. So what does a green city actually look like? Well, the blueprint has some really cool key elements. First, you've got these vertical, diverse buildings. Think entire cities within a single skyscraper. Then there's a huge focus on human-scale design, which is all about making cities for people again, not just for cars. And third, zero-waste systems, where garbage actually becomes a valuable resource, something cities like San Francisco are already proving is possible. It's a total rethink of city life to be way more efficient, connected, and frankly, more human. Okay, we've got the power grid, and we've got these incredible reimagined cities. But how are we going to feed everyone? That brings us to the third pillar of the blueprint, sustainably feeding a planet of nearly 10 billion people.
And make no mistake, this is a huge challenge. The World Resources Institute projects that as the world gets more prosperous, the demand for resource-heavy foods like meat and dairy could jump by as much as 70%. Our current agricultural system, it just can't handle that. It's not built for it. We need a whole new game plan.
So what's the solution? Well, the World Resources Institute created this brilliant framework they call the 5-course menu for sustainable food future. The first course is all about cutting back on demand and food waste. The second is about growing more food on the land we already have without cutting down more forests. The third is about protecting and restoring nature. The fourth is making sure our fishing is sustainable. And the fifth is cutting greenhouse gas emissions from farming itself. Every single one of these courses is a critical part of the meal.
Okay, we've seen the blueprint. A new energy grid, redesigned cities, a sustainable food system. It's massive, it's ambitious, but a plan is only as good as our ability to actually follow it. So how do we make this incredible vision a reality?
A huge part of this is, of course, money. The numbers are mind-boggling. The IEA estimates we need to ramp up annual energy investment to $5 trillion by 2030. But here's the key. This isn't just a cost. It's a massive investment that is going to fuel an economic boom, creating millions of new jobs and boosting global GDP.
Now this chart from the IEA roadmap is just incredible. It shows where our emission cuts are going to come from. About half will come from technology we already have today. But the other half? That's going to come from technologies that are currently just in the prototype or demonstration phase. Think about that. Our blueprint for the future depends just as much on innovation as it does on deploying what we already have.
But you know, all the money and all the amazing technology in the world won't be enough by itself. The final, most essential ingredient is us. As the urbanist Tigran Haas says, this whole transition requires a major shift from every single one of us. This can't be a top-down order. It needs a global consensus, a shared belief that this is the future we want to build together.
We are at such a unique crossroads in human history. We can see the two paths stretching out before us with shocking clarity. We have the data, we have the technology, we have the blueprint. The only question left is about the choice we will make, a choice we all have to make together. Will we be the architects of our future, or will we just be the inhabitants of our past?